I was asked by some subscribers and friends to make a video on how I gave up Christianity and became a Hindu and later on a Vaishnava. So this is my story. Namaste, Hare Krishna everyone. My name is Mila and welcome back to my channel. Some say that Hinduism is not a religion, it's a way of living. So I think it's both. It is religion and it is a way of living. Religion is about believing in a supreme being, about how God is worshipped with all the rituals and ceremonies and living according to it. So if we take this into consideration, then yes, Hinduism is a religion, and in fact it is the oldest religion. It is the mother of all religions. The oldest spiritual scriptures are called PURANAS, were written by Srila Vyasadeva, who is an incarnation of the Supreme Lord, and there it is stated that the Supreme Being is Sat Chit Ananda Vigraha. Vigraha means a form. The Supreme Being has a form, and that form is Sat, Chit and Ananda. It is eternal, full of knowledge and full of bliss. The word religion was for the first time mentioned in the Christianity in about 1200 AD, and the other two main religions beside Hinduism is Christianity and Islam, and these religions also believe in the existence of the Supreme Being, in God, and that is Allah or Jehovah. But Hinduism is also a way of traditional life based on Sanatan Dharma, the eternal law. Dharma means to act virtuously, righteously, ethically and morally throughout one's life. In Hinduism, I found the most peaceful religion that there is, and it fulfills me and makes me happy. But how did I come in touch with Hinduism? Other than at school, at the geography class, where we learned about India, like the location of India, how big it is, surrounding countries, the population, capital city, like that, I've never ever been in a conversation with someone about India or Hinduism. But I remember when I just turned 14, my birthday is just a few weeks before New Year. I just turned 14, and I decided to celebrate the New Year with my closest friends, who also happened to be my neighbors, and with some of them I went in the same class, and our parents knew each other and so on. So on that New Year, one of the boys, who was just 1 year older than me, he came to me and said, I'm into India. And I was just like, when I heard the word India, he said, I'm into Indian Hinduism, I just like felt so amazing energy, mystical, and I was beaming with a smile from ear to ear. And we were just standing next to a window, and it was snowing, it was very cold outside, inside it was very hot, warm, and so the window was like foggy, and with my finger I drew a map of India. And I was just like repeating India, India, like that. And then he said, yes, I'm into Hinduism. And then he started explaining that he is doing yoga, meditation, that he's about to become a vegetarian. And I just absorbed everything, because anyway, in general, I found him extremely smart, and he was kind of my, so to say, guru. Whatever he said, it was like at that time the absolute truth for me, and I just absorbed everything that he was speaking about that. So as soon as the New Year holiday was over, I just went straight into a bookstore, and I bought anything and everything that was about India. I remember the first book I bought was about, it was from Tagore, a collection of his poems and short stories. And then I bought two books, like that small Bhagavad Gita, and another one, Upanishads, written by some American philosopher, and I really didn't understand almost anything. It was too complicated. But however, I was reading, and I was memorizing the names of the Upanishads and so on. Then on one point I came across Buddhism. Then for hours and hours I was sitting on the floor in my room and I was chanting Om Mani Padme Hum, Om Mani Padme Hum, in hope that I will attain some nirvana, bodhisattva. But of course it never happened. Then this friend was coming to us and also saying like what asanas he learned, that he learned the Sirshasan headstand, and he was showing us, and I was like looking at him thinking like, oh my god, this is some very elevated yogi from the Himalayas. I was like totally blown away. So me and my two best friends, we also enrolled in Hatha Yoga class, and we also learned Surya Namaskar and Pranayama and everything. And my parents, meanwhile, were thinking this is just a period of a teenager, it will pass, no problem. And one day I remember I came back from school and my father said, this person from the population census came. They come actually every 4 years from door to door, and to write down the number of the population in the country. Then they write down the starting like how many members are in the family and what is their religious background. So my father said, I said we are 4 family members, 3 of us are Christians and 1 is a Buddhist. And around that time actually I experienced some quite heavy heartbreak. I had to stop taking ballet classes. Actually, I was taking for some years intense ballet classes that my dream was to become one day a classical ballet dancer. And I even started learning Russian because I thought after graduating from high school, I will go and study classical ballet in the Bolshoi Theater in Moscow. It was just a dream of a teenager. But this all fell apart, all my dreams, after I got sick with jaundice. It was quite heavy. I was hospitalized and the doctor forbade me to do any physical activities, no ballet, no sports, nothing whatsoever. And some other things happened and I just was so devastated. I was so down, I was so depressed. Then I was constantly praying to God to show me the way. What is the way? How can I attain happiness? Why was I born? Why do I have to grow old and die? Is there no meaning in life? What is the meaning of life? Please God, show me the way. So one day me and my 2 best friends, we were on the way to our Hatha Yoga class. It was just 1 month before I graduated from high school. So we were 1 hour too early and we decided to do some window shopping. And this is when we saw this young man. He was in his early 20s. He had a lot of books and he was approaching people and selling the books. So me being a bookworm, one thing, and second thing, he looked so different, so effulgent, like the sun was inside him, like he was like really looking out of this world, so different than the rest of the people. So I approached him and I said, what are you selling? And then he said, some books about yoga. I was, yoga, I'm just on my way to my Hatha Yoga class. And he said, yeah, buy some book. And there was one particular book that really drew my attention. I was drawn to the book. The title was The Science of Self-Realization, and on the front cover was a sadhu, very effulgent, very aristocratic looking sadhu, with a temple in the background and the sunset, and it was just like, I thought, oh, this is the book, I must have this book. I bought it. 1 month later I graduated and I went with my parents on holiday, and I took that book and I still have a picture of me in bikini with sunglasses, lying on the beach and reading The Science of Self-Realization. And I was so drawn to the book. I read it again and again, and I found all the answers to my questions. Why was I born? Why do I have to die? What is the goal of life? So in other words, this book that was written by A.C. Bhaktivedanta Swami Srila Prabhupada, gave me the answers to these questions and gave me the key, the solution to happiness. And then and there I decided when I'm back to Macedonia, I will find these devotees and I will learn more and more about this philosophy. And this is exactly what happened. I came back to Macedonia after the holidays, and after a short while I saw another devotee distributing books on the streets. I approached, he gave me the address, and I started going regularly. But I was not satisfied with just going on Sunday feasts, you know. I wanted to go more often. But how? How to escape from my parents? My father was very strict, so and I was like a very shy child. I was a bookworm and nerd. I was a straight A student. So how do I say that now I have to go every evening somewhere? So I came up with this crazy idea. I asked one brahmachari to call. At that time was no, cell phones. There was just one home line, fixed line. So I said, please call me always around 4 or 5 o'clock in the afternoon and behave as if you're my boyfriend. So I was like speaking loud, oh hi, yeah, of course, I'm coming. So I gave that false impression that I have a boyfriend and I'm meeting him. But of course, my father just knew my nature and he knew that there is something fishy going on. And one day, after 1, 2, 3, 5 times that happened, he followed me with his car behind the bus I was driving in. And he found out that I was going to the Hare Krishna center. And this is where all the hell broke loose. I will not speak any details out of respect. I'll just say that it was a very difficult period. But what gave me strength were the words of Lord Shri Krishna in Bhagavad Gita, 18th chapter. Sarva dharman parityajya mam ekam sharanam vraja aham tvam sarva papebhyo muksheshyami ma shuchaha. Just give up all religion and just surrender unto me. Do not fear, I promise I will protect you. I had blind faith in this verse. I had blind faith that Krishna will help me no matter what, because I was determined I want to give my life to Krishna. So there was a period of almost half a year that I had obstacle after obstacle, problem after problem, test after test. I could write a whole book, but I won't mention anything now. I'll just say that I was giving an ultimatum. Either you give up Krishna consciousness or you leave, you go out of my house. So I chose the first option, of course. And I was a student. I just started studying one semester at the university. I was studying philosophy. I gave that up. I had a job also in one duty-free shop. I gave that up. I gave up my country, my family, everything. I came back to Switzerland to be able to freely and full-time serve Krishna and learn about this amazing philosophy more and more. And I remember what made me extremely excited and happy was when they told me, in the temple you will wear saris all the time. And I just love saris. I love saris so much. I even used to go in Zurich, in the tram, in the city, in the sari. So anyway, my dear friends, this is my story, how I came first in touch with Hinduism and after I chose Vaishnavism. If you like this video, please give thumbs up and leave some positive, nice, beautiful comments. Thank you very much for watching and see you next time. Hare Krishna.